Mid-year book time. It is halfway through the year. Where did June go? That's my question. Why do the summer months go by at like 3 times speed, and then December here and like January, February, March, they trickle by like slow-mo. Let me just get comfortable here. I've been filming a couple videos. So, there are 13 questions. I have 13 answers. I tried to make sure that I wasn't really like overlapping answers for multiple questions. I didn't want it to get repetitive, even though a few of these books could have been answers for a few of these questions. And I also tried to keep it to like 1, 2 max at some of them, but I tried to keep them, you know. So, first question that we got here. Best book you've read so far this year. So this one I went back and forth on, and I did pick 2 because here's the thing. I have to, but it's like not technically a published book. It is fan fiction, but it is literally like one of the most astounding things I've ever read in my entire life, and that is Manacled by Senlin Yu. I have my beautiful copy, which we'll talk about that in a second. But for question number 1, this is a Draco and Hermione fan fiction. No, you do not have to like have read Harry Potter to understand it. I never read Harry Potter. I've only just recently seen the movies. Like, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but I was convinced to read this by some of my friends, and it's Harry Potter meets Handmaid's Tale. So it's after the Order of the Phoenix, I think, in like timeline wise, but it's if they all lost and like Voldemort won the war. It follows Draco and Hermione. That guy has a yellow Mustang. I don't think I've ever seen that car. Wow. I would not buy a convertible if I lived here. We do not have enough nice weather for that. I feel like you would always have to have the top up, except for like a few select days out of the year. Anyways, I don't need to be critiquing people's vehicle choices. Manacled. So, Hermione is, she was a member of the Order, and obviously now the war is lost, and she has some secrets locked away in her memory that Voldemort wants to unlock, but he cannot gain access to them, so he sends her to Draco to be his handmaiden and have Draco work to crack her. And it's told the beginning, we're in the present, and then we have a huge chunk of flashbacks, and then we're back to the present again, and that's how we tell the story. It is dark. It is obviously a romance, but this is not like, you are not reading this for like the spice. I mean, like, yeah, there are like some scenes throughout this, but it is really just like a war drama. The romance between Draco and Hermione, everything that they go through, it is just astounding. Like, the talent of this author is mind-blowing, the way that they told this story. It's truly like remarkable. Like, I have not stopped thinking about this. I read this back in January, and truly, like, I still wake up and I think about it on the daily. Like, it is just so good. So I had to choose this, but then I wanted to choose one that was like a traditionally published romance as well to throw in here, which obviously, I know this is an older book, I don't care. Kiss the Sky by Kristen Becca Ritchie. I read the entire Addicted / Calloway Sisters series for a reading vlog this year, and this book was so good. So this one is the first book in the Calloway Sisters series. However, you should read it like interspersed, I guess, with the Addicted series. So you would read the first 3 books in the Addicted series, and then you read Kiss the Sky. There is a reading order in the front of the books. Oh, not there yet. Almost there. There it is. If you ever get confused, there is the reading order. So technically this is like book 4 in reading order, and this is just truly remarkable. Rose is Lily's older sister. Lily has the Addicted series, and it's her and Connor's story, and Connor is just like their group friend that you meet in the first book, and it's like rivals to lovers. They're so smart. Their banter is incredible. In this, they're actually filming a reality TV show, which is like really cool. I had no clue about that going in. And just the equal match and like respect that Connor and Rose have for each other, truly like unmatched. This book was everything and more that I wanted, and yeah, it was literal perfection. So by far, these 2 are like my 2 best reads of the year. Okay, next question is best sequel that I've read so far this year. And I have read a few great sequels, but I think my favorite so far has been Twisted Hate by Hannah Huang. Now, granted, I am filming this video before I've read Twisted Lies. It is June 28th when I'm making this video right now, and in 2 days, Twisted Lies come out. So I don't think Twisted Lies is gonna surpass Twisted Hate, but just in the off chance that it does, I'm speaking on this before I've read that. So this one is the 3rd book in the Twisted series, and it follows Josh and Jules. Technically, wait, does this count as a sequel? Now I'm sitting here, is this technically a sequel? Wait, because like, would a sequel have to follow the same people? Would this count? Now I'm having second thoughts about this. Because now I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my god, wait, a sequel would be from the same series. Well, this is from the same series, but like following the same people. Yeah. Yeah, mom's having questions. I know. Mom didn't think about this. Yeah. Okay, now the closet door is going to be open back there. Just ignore it. Kitties need to do what kitties need to do. Well, now I'm having second thoughts about this, but I'm already sitting down making this, so we're just going to roll with it. This technically counts as a sequel, but actually now sitting here, I don't think it technically would. I don't know. If it doesn't, don't come at me, okay? I'm already aware of my mistake. This one follows Josh and Jules, and it's the third book in a companion series. So Josh is Ava's older brother, and we see Ava in the first book. And Jules is Ava's best friend. So Josh and Jules have hated each other pretty much since they ever met, but they start crossing paths at work. Josh is a doctor and Jules is going to law school. She's like getting ready to pass the bar, but she's doing like some work at some like facility, and Josh also like volunteers there sometimes, so that's how they start crossing paths. Anyways, they need an outlet. They don't have time to date, and they decide to set up a little enemies with benefits type situation. It's great. I love it. It's like actual hate to love, which I love to see. I hate enemies to lovers where they're like already lovers by like 20% in. Like, no, they are still hating each other even when they're hooking up with each other. So good. Loved it. Can't wait for Twisted Lies. Okay, question number 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to. So there are 2 Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover I still have not read yet. I'm mostly kind of saving this one because I thought that one of my friends would want to read it. She just kind of started reading more this year, like more fiction, and she's liked Ugly Love and It Ends With Us, and so I was like, okay, well, if you want to read Reminders of Him, like I'll read it along with you, but obviously like summer's just like a busier time and we haven't gotten around to it yet, but I do want to read this at some point. I've heard mixed things from people, but I do want to give it a shot. And other one is Company of Fiends by Catherine Moon. This one just came out this past month and I haven't read it yet, but I have eagerly been anticipating it ever since I read A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor. So that one is a monster reverse harem, and in that book, our heroine and 2 of our heroes go to this... Can you not play in the plastic bag, please? That has literally been sitting there for like 2 weeks because mom's lazy. They go to see this like circus type performance thing with these monsters like live on stage, and it is amazing. It's amazing. And I was like, I need a full book of this. And that's what Catherine Moon wrote. So I do want to read this. I think it sounds so good and so fun and so spicy. Question number 4 is most anticipated release of last half of the year. So this one is kind of hard because I feel like a lot of books that I am like anticipating don't even have like release dates. Like Is Motel by Penelope Douglas coming this year? Don't know. No release date. But that would be highly anticipated. Another highly anticipated one that again does not have a release date is Out of Bounds by Lucia Franco. So this is like a deleted scenes / I think like interview type kind of book with like Rhea and Kova years after the Off Balance series. And I'm just so excited. I will take any content that I can get within this world. This is my favorite series ever, y'all know. And I will take any little bits and pieces that we can get of Rhea and Kova. And then the other one is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Obviously, I loved It Ends With Us. And I personally felt like satisfied with the end of that book because I don't need like to see a couple happy and in love. I don't even really need epilogues. Once they get together, the book can kind of like end. I get why people wanted like Lily and Atlas's story. So I am looking forward to it. We'll be reading it. And we'll see. I'm excited. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment, which actually when I was looking through my reads of this year, I don't think like anything blared out to me as being like a disappointment in any way. I don't think I've read any, because like when I think of disappointment, I think of something that I had like really, really high expectations of and then it let me down. Where some of the books that like I didn't like were just kind of like, I didn't like them. Like Normal People by Sally Rooney, I didn't expect to like that one. I didn't like it. So like that wasn't a disappointment. But the 2 that I would say that I did have like higher hopes for, I didn't have like high expectations. I was just like excited to read them. And then they were like fine, or I didn't really end up liking them. I have 2 of them. And the first one is Hollywood Roommates by Elizabeth Briggs. So this one I had read A Lighter Reverse Harem, trying to find a lighter reverse harem rec for you guys, because this one follows our heroine. Is her name Allie. And at the beginning, she thinks her fiance is going to propose to her, and he actually ends up dumping her, and then she has to move in with these 3 like Hollywood guys. And from the premise of that, I was like, this sounds like it's going to be a fun time. But it just like lacked like any kind of substance. I thought I didn't connect with any of the characters. There really wasn't any sort of like depth to any of them. It was all like really surface level, and just overall like really not my vibe. It just was not for me. So I would say that was like a disappointment, because I was just really excited to find like a lighter reverse harem. The other one, this one, it wasn't like bad by any means. I would still recommend it. But it just wasn't, I guess, what I was like hoping for, and that is Kink Camp by A. Anders. This one we read for Smut Club that I have with Cheyenne. This was our June pick for it, and you can watch the live show to hear our thoughts on it. But I think the name, I was expecting some wild next level kind of spice here, and it just like, it fell a little flat for me. And I think I was just I wanted more out of it overall. And like, as I talked with Cheyenne and you guys in the live show, I like really realized, you know, how much more I think we could have gotten, and how much like potential was not necessarily like seen in it. So, you know, I still enjoyed it overall. Like, I gave it 3 stars, but it was just, I guess, not what I was hoping for in it. But I definitely will read the second book at some point when it comes out, because the second book sounds promising. Okay, biggest surprise then. So again, like, I don't really think I've had anything that has surprised me, because all the books that I was like eagerly anticipating or things like lived up to what I was thinking, or I didn't have anything that really was like, wow, I like was not expecting that, or like I was expecting to not like it and then I loved it. But the 2 that I did pick out for this, the first one is Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. So I bought this book like a year and a half ago or something in a Target sale. Like, it's been sitting on my shelves for a long time. And I bought this shortly after I had read like Dark Notes and some books by Pam Godwin, and I was like, oh, a pirate romance. Like, I haven't read one of those. I'm going to buy it. Not really fully thinking that, oh, that means this is a historical romance. And like, you don't read historical romances, McKay. What are you doing? So then when I picked this up this year to read, and it started out and it was like, what is it? What year is it? 1714. I was like, what did I just get myself into? But I fucking loved this book. I loved it. It was incredible. So like, I guess that would be a surprise for me, because then when I started this, I was like, I'm really not sure about it, but oh, it was so good. And the other one, I think because I just loved it, I feel like sequels a lot of the time, oh, I guess this could have been best sequel, Michaela. This is what actually a sequel would be. Okay, so I guess this one kind of is going to count for question 2, where I think I didn't choose properly. But also for this one, Hunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton. So this is the second book in the cat and mouse duet. I liked Haunting Adeline, but it was slow for me. It's a thick book and it just moved slowly. But I liked it, and it left off on a cliffhanger that like had me intrigued. But I think when I picked up this second book, I was not expecting, I guess, to like love it. Like, love it. I was just expecting to, you know, like round out the duet, be like, oh, this was like a solid read, but nothing like super memorable or like special for me. But this second book, holy shit, it went there. It is dark. It is dark, dark, dark. Addie is in a horrible place in this book, surrounded by horrible people, and the things that she has to do to survive. Oh. And then Zayd tracking her down, and then when they finally have like their reunion, which H.G. Carlton makes you work for, and then Addie's character development over the course from the first book, and then everything that she goes through in this book to who she is at the end of the book. Oh, it was just so good. Like, it absolutely blew me away. So I think the second book was a surprise, because I just was not expecting it to love it as much as I did. Question number 7, fave new author you discovered this year. Sarah Kate. I had not read anything by Sarah Kate before this year. And then the Salacious Players Club came out, and then Praise, Give Me More, and Eyes on Me, and loved. And then Beautiful Sinner, Nikki and I read for our Out of Bounds book club pick in June. And again, like, really a priest romance, solid. And as I've gone through Sarah Kate's backlist, and I'm currently working my way through it, every single book that she's written like sounds interesting to me, you know? Like a lot of them have like a hint of tabooness or like forbiddenness to them, which I personally love, obviously. And she was just not someone that was on my radar last year. So for sure, I'd say like a new author to me that I have just really been loving. Number 8 is newest fictional crush. I had so many, but I really did just have to narrow it down to my Lord and Savior, Richard Connor Cobalt from Kiss the Sky. This man, oh my God, he's things that like I do not like in a man. I do not like a cocky, arrogant kind of dude. Not that I don't like smart dudes, because obviously I don't want them to be dumb, but I think there's a thing when someone is like so highly intelligent and then they kind of like lack social awareness sometimes. And Connor is like easily the smartest person in the room, but he's still like charismatic, which I feel like is an interesting combination. I bow down to you, Richard Connor Cobalt, and you can put a diamond collar on me anytime you want. New favorite character. Question number 9. That had to go to Lana Myers from the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. This is one of my favorite things I've read this entire year. I just love how like collectively I have never seen a person negatively review these books. It's 5 novellas that make up like one, like bigger book. And I don't think I've ever seen a negative review, and I just love that we've collectively decided that like this is just amazing. And it's so good. It deserves all the hype that it has. Lana is our heroine in it, and she is a serial killer, and truly she's just amazing. She's physically smart. I definitely meant to say physically strong. I don't think physically smart is a thing. Mentally tough, intelligent, driven, vulnerable at the same time. She's obviously been through a horrible past, but she hasn't let that like harden her to the point where she can't let new people in, which you really see with Logan. Oh, she's just incredible. She's like easily one of my favorite heroines ever. Like she ranks up there for me with like Aelin from Throne of Glass. So just absolutely love Lana, and I support women's wrongs. Okay, question number 10 is book that made you cry. I've had actually quite a few, but I don't think I've had any that are like absolutely sobbing, like Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma that I read a few years ago. But some of the standout ones that I definitely cried the most in were The Confidence of Wildflowers by Macaulay Meltzer. The first book in particular, the second book, not so much. But this first book, I think because it was so shocking and it just made me sob. This one follows Thayer and Salem, and it's a small town, grumpy sunshine, neighbor, age gap romance. And Thayer is a single father, and he moves in next door, and Salem and him kind of like strike up a friendship. She like starts nannying for his kid a little bit. And yeah, there is an event that happens towards the end of the book that just took me by complete surprise. And oh, it just made me sob and sob and sob. So it got me. And then the other 2, I cried a lot, and you see it in the vlog, but I cried a lot in the Addicted/Kadlec Sister series. But I feel like these 2 books probably made me cry the most out of them. So Addicted After All is the 5th book in the Addicted series. And what would this be in overall order? 7, the 7th book that you read overall. This is the last book in Lily and Lo's story, and just truly seeing how far they came and like their wedding and everything. Oh, I was just bawling like a baby. So this made me cry. And then Fuel the Fire really got me. This is Rose and Connor's 2nd book. And I can't spoil it, but something happens to Connor in this book that is just so hard to witness. And then he makes like a speech because he has to like talk to the public about it, and his speech just made me cry like a little bitch. And oh, it was so good. And then number 12 on the flip side of that was a book that made you happy. And I don't really like, when I was going through my list, I didn't have anything that like blared out to me that was like happiness. But the 2 that I just felt like good vibes while reading them were Nice Guys Don't Win by Macaulay Meltzer. So this one is the 2nd book in the Boys series, and it's friends to lovers, roommates, just very like low drama, low angst, slow burn kind of deal. And here's the thing, Zoe and Cole are just 2 like level-headed people. And it's very much like just what I would think of you would want in like a normal real life relationship. Like they're good at communicating with each other. They like respect each other. There's no kind of like mind games between them, which like I love to read in books. But sometimes it is nice to just read about 2 people wanting to be together and then just like choosing to be together. And it just gave me like warm feelings. And also Cole is a sweetheart and takes care of Zoe. And oh, it made me feel happy reading the 2 of them. I was like, you 2 genuinely deserve each other. And then the other book that made me happy most, because I was just so addicted to it and I like couldn't put it down, and I felt giddy every time like I picked up my Kindle to keep on going, and that is the Wolf Hotel series by K.A. Tucker. This is the first book, Tempt Me. There are 4 books in it, all following the same couple: billionaire, boss employee, age gap, romance, and this series just consumed me. I read them all 4 back to back, which I never do. Truly, every time I got to pick up my Kindle to read, I just felt pure joy. Like, this series was so fun. It's so dramatic. It's so addictive. It's just everything that I needed at the moment when I was reading it. And I thoroughly loved it. Next, oh no, I stacked all these on top of them. Take it off. Next was Most Beautiful Book That You've Bought, which, okay, we got to bring it back to Manacled. So this is a fan fiction, so you can't like buy it. You have to get it bound by like a bookbinder. So my friend Amanda was able to get me in with a commission for a bookbinder, and it is truly so beautiful. So this is the front of it, and then the spine, it's huge. And then the back, the artwork is all beautiful. It has sprayed edges, which I didn't know that it was gonna have, which is just so freaking cool. And then, I mean, the inside is beautiful. It has like these paper cranes on it. And then under the dust jacket, I mean, more artwork from super talented people that make fan art. Like, it is literally stunning. And then on the inside, it has like, it has like illustrations. Where are some of them? Oh, there we go. Like, it has some pictures on the inside throughout from people. It's literally the most beautiful thing I've ever owned. No one will be touching this but me. I will never loan this out. It's just so beautiful. It's purely for me, and I'm so happy to have it on my shelves. It's just beautiful. Even like the edges with this like little claspy things. I don't know. It's literally so pretty. Okay, and question number 13, a book you need to read by the end of the year. I have 2. I had made 22 books I need to read in 2022. I have not made a good dent in that list. So I picked 2 off of that list of what are my 2 like high priorities off of that. And the first one is Real by Kennedy Ryan. This is an actress director forbidden romance, and I got this on my booktuber trip to Atlanta. Oh, I forgot to take my receipt out of there last time, but it's signed. We went to Kennedy Ryan's bookstore and like cleared out her entire section, and I've heard nothing but good things about Real. I've really loved the books that I've read by Kennedy Ryan, and I definitely want to give this one a shot by the end of the year. I think I'm gonna love it. It's forbidden. I mean, what don't I love about a forbidden romance? And the last one that I for sure want to get around to this year is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I have not read anything by Sophie Lark yet. I know, guys, I'm working on it, and I want to do a Sophie Lark reading vlog, so I want to get around to Brutal Prince. I know this is like the starting point, so I definitely want to get to it. Those are my 2 highest priority that I for sure want to read by the end of the year. Right, that's it for today. When is this video going up? Okay, I don't know what's coming after this video. I got a lot of reading vlogs coming in July this month, so keep your eyes peeled for those. That is it for today, and I will see you when I see ya.